Alright, if you were expecting a sitrep on the war between myself and the Red River Republic, I'm afraid to disappoint you because this war is all but over. They just don't know it yet. Reason being is that not only do I have double the factories and more divisions than them, but Red River Republic has lost 31, well actually almost 32,000 troops compared to my 1,300. And I don't care who you are, even Kaiser himself would be changing into his brown pants right now at losses like that. So what I am going to do is I've created another line here so I can attack to the north. I'm setting all my troops to aggressive and I'm going to start that second assault. What this episode is all about is these lovely people here, MacArthur. I'm going to release them as a puppet because I've learned my mistake from earlier in this playthrough. There we go. MacArthur has magically resurrected itself, and that means I can now do this part of the focus tree. Now we have to work from the top all the way down. I'm going to do my best to do this all in one go. So this might be a long episode, but I'll put timestamps in for all of you in case you want to see something specific. But starting off with local governance, while MacArthur has been taking a lot of interest in us, we can't be ruled from the mountains. We shall pledge our allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, but it will be Secretary Gallagher that will rule the Northern Territories, not someone hidden in within the snowy peaks. So we're going to replace Enclave Territorial Administration with Department of Colonial Affairs. My political power is going to go down by 0.4. A lot of non-core manpower, nice amount of stability, and I'm going to lose some daily command power gain, and I'm going to get to the event, the Star Spangled North. Now, just remember, this would normally be the tree if MacArthur hadn't decided to go belly up and die, which they did early on. One last thing to do, and that is I want to upgrade my aircraft again. I'm going to upgrade my nuclear jet fighter this time, same as last time. Maximum reliability, maximum on engine, then go 3 on weapons and 2 on range. So reliability stays at 80%, but everything else gets a nice boost. Save that 495. And then make sure I start making the right ones. Nuclear jet fighter Mark 1. There we go. Okay, let's carry on going here. So that pocket is all but destroyed. We've got a decision here. What do we have? Exploit MacArthur. No, I'm not doing any of that. Don't like exploiting my puppets. They can be quite useful. So, yep, proof is in the pudding. Aliens. Oh, alien infestation. Manpower goes down. Division attack minus 4%. That's okay. One thing I have added is I now have 5 squadrons. Ooh, I don't really need that, but thank you. 5 squadrons of vertebrates to keep my troops as well supplied as possible. Manufacturing at this point of the game is not a problem at all. Let's go through this. There we go. 112, that means I can get my final perk for my infantry. I'm not going to bother with these terrain ones. Don't really need them. My army is nigh unstoppable. Moose Jaw, you're already dead. Don't know why you still got an operative. Lovely. Oop. Steel layerings, that was down there. Let's do alloy casting. Just using the oversight, just using the research slots up. Once I get back to doing just the focuses after all this war against Red River is done, I will not be stopping to show you the normal research I'll be doing. Just try to keep this episode a bit shorter than normal. Here we go. The Star-Spangled North. The vertebrates flew non-stop, in and out, crates thrown off the transports onto the tarmac. Northern grunts carried the crates of supplies into the warehouse. Gallagher, overseeing the most recent transfer, swiped his hand over the opened crates. A fresh pack of cigarettes from MacArthur. With the strike of a match, his lung full with American pride. It had been years since cigarettes had found its place in the North, but the moment was short-lived. Across the tarmac, a scene of a Ghoul Enclave soldier was manifesting. "Get the hell away from me, you nasty ghoul," barked the Enclave soldier. "The hell is wrong with you, soldier?" responded Corporal Price. The argument soon turned physical before Gallagher could intervene. Corporal Price, having tried to order the soldiers to aid the unloading, was now on the receiving end of a right hook. In return, Price spat some blood out and knocked the green Enclave soldier on his ass. As Price rounded up another knuckle sandwich, Gallagher grabbed his forearm. With a grimace and a sigh, Price walked away as the other Enclave soldiers started to stare. When the day turned to dusk and the snow started to fall once again, Gallagher returned to his office. Slumping down into his creaking wooden office chair, trying to process what happened today. Schultz had warned him that the Enclave weren't too kind to ghouls, but they were American citizens, nay, American patriots, he thought. Reports were starting to cover his desk, incidents between Gallagher's soldiers and Enclave personnel. These soldiers were more than just ghouls, but family, having raised Gallagher after being abandoned all those years ago. As he thought back to his memories, the pack of cigarettes caught his eye. Holding the pack, thinking to himself, they fought and murdered Johnson for this, for stability, prosperity, and simple aid. They will just have to put up with them, whatever it takes for order. Okay, so still very much similar theme as what happened when we ended off the focus over here. Always going to be a bit of animosity between the Enclave and the ghouls. Let's do this one first. What Uncle Sam wants. Although we have local governance, we must not forget who is above us. Uncle Sam gets whatever they wish. In return, they will send us more manpower in order to expand our local industry. So MacArthur will add territorial revenue to themselves, which means they get more caps and extra resources. And I believe this means I get 1,000 manpower. We'll have to see about that in 25 days. Now we need to be careful here because there are some river crossings here. So once this is finished, I just want to make sure, because I really do detest being stabbed in the back by being flanked. Okay, so there are some guys here. Let's put, you know what? Let's just hold them here. You guys, just form a line there for me, if you please. Keep them off my back. I need one of you as well. And let's put you over there. Any other little... see. You see. There's a guy there.
Hello.
Oh, what have I done? Switch to Navy.
Hello.
Come back here. There we go. Okay, I think that should be all for now, but I do need to watch this and be careful as we go.
Hello.
I do not like being flanked. So we're just going to have to watch this as we go. Shouldn't be a massive issue with them on aggressive. They will attack every which way they can. Another new decision, probably to send out. Yep, that's actually the only decision I think I have active right now, is to send out some scavengers. Still haven't got any gauge rifles yet. Makes me sad. I like gauge rifles. They're my favorite. Oh, this is just getting too much over here.
Hey.
Yep. That's one thing I love about aggressive. Absolute carnage if you can get it right. I'm not messing with my lines. Instead, let me quickly do Is this going to reset every single focus? Because that could bother me. Okay, let's do the annual budget. A government runs not on ideals and ambitions, but on hard-earned caps. We are no different. To ensure that our coffers will always stay full, a new budget system will be created to collect annual taxes, plus 50,000 bottle caps. I've got, what's that, 1.5 million. Haven't spent any in a while, but I can remember. So we're just going to have some fun. Normally I'd be a lot more pedantic about making sure deleting and redrawing my lines, but I don't think that's necessary here. Let's just send you in there and you can go in there. No, go there first and then in there. That should work quite nicely. How close are these guys to actually capitulating? Oh, almost there. I've got some I don't see it. I don't have. They need a couple more victory points, like Dolphin, for example, and this could all be over. They have no supply. Strip power armor, fantastic. Finally, I have a new type of power armor. Let me spend the 35 armor experience just to get that faster. There we go. More dockyards. What am I going to do with you? Always make sure repairs on maximum, so if you do have any damaged ships, they can get repaired as fast as possible. Here we just make some more canoes. Ooh, Kaiser taking out the Sky Reavers. More troops, I love it. More political power, but I don't have anything to core yet. Well, Deanna's finally beat Farson, okay. And there we are, okay. As I said, it was over anyways. Whoop, there and there. I'm taking everything. 24,000 victory points. That's all mine now. Oh, and I get some traders from Hawaii. Let's get some war support this time. Let's tell them war stories of our homeland. And now, Northwestern Mandate's looking pretty damn good. I'm just going to take the dredges out here. Keep things busy, keep things interesting. Justify a war goal on McBride, 125 days. Okay, I'm going to set up my troops and I'll see you in 10 days. Well, thanks for the free money. Going to continue from left to right again with Earth's hidden treasures. New mines will soon be opening up in order to feed not only our industry but Uncle Sam as well. The new manpower given to us will be put to work deep within the hollow mines, producing the treasures we are in need of. And I'm going to add frontier mining towns, extra 2 scrap metal, and I think that's composite materials if I remember correctly. MacArthur hasn't done much yet. Unfortunately, Auntie Santiago isn't in charge. Patrick Scurry is. Not actually sure if he is a valid enclave leader, but he's in charge of them now. And here's my little attack for the dredges. So there's some more resources to go into the giant pit of resources I already have. Next, I'm going to actually skip Uncle Sam's money pit and do Made in the USA. Get 4 extra civilian factories. With doing, MacArthur has given us another gift from the mountains. New industrial methods and tools ready to be put into practice. A whole imported industry ready to be brought online by our workers. Now, if I was starting off at the beginning, that would actually be very, very useful. So that's some more factories to add to my 219 that I already have. Now, I could actually skip Uncle Sam's money pit, but I want to do it anyway so you guys can see what it's all about. So for the next couple of months, Uncle Sam himself will be bankrolling our balance sheet. This new capital has been used for industry. As such, we will take advantage of the surplus capital to fuel our growing industry. So for 180 days, MacArthur investments will take my consumer goods down by minus 15%. Now, if you have a small industry, that is huge, because that will actually increase the amount of factories you can use to construct whatever you want. And 180 days is nothing to laugh at. Well, thank you, Uncle Sam, for funding my economy for 6 months. It's reset again. Let's go back in here and let's do a helping hand. So, a helping hand. The farmers have been left out in snow for years without any help from the government. Today that will change. We will subsidize the farms in order to feed our local populace. So I'm going to get a 6% research bonus and a 2-year time penalty reduction for the next 2 researchers in in agriculture. Something I want to notice, or want to point out, is there's no clear war goals in this branch. The way I think the devs wanted it to work is that you'd still get the generic ones to take most of this territory here to form the Western Mandate, but basically you would be the supporter of MacArthur in their drive to conquer as per their focus tree, whichever one they follow. Well, again, thank you on behalf of the farmers for the helping hand. Boomtowns is next. The frontier is starting to fill up with boomtowns popping up wherever resources are found. Support of these towns are coming straight from the government in order to keep these towns running smoothly. So frontier mining towns, which we got a little bit earlier, will give me a little bit of extra caps income and some more resources. Very good if you're starting out fresh. Okay, the time has come to make my map a little prettier by taking out the dredges. My justification is completed. Very simple plan. Got 3 battalions along the long border here to push north, 1 each on these small little bits. Their main focus is just to conquer over this river crossing, and then nothing else to do but to declare war on them. Okay, should have actually stopped them training beforehand, but never mind, and let's go. So I have repositioned all my air force before this. Okay, heavy lifter bots is gone. R bots for CNC, they are absolutely wonderful. I'm getting a bit annoyed at seeing this, so you know what? Let me change up caravan guards, wasteland pacification. Well, low manpower warning, but not an equipment warning. Okay, Realm of Diane. Okay, they're going against the beggars. They've got that Reform Colorado national trait. Okay, automatic reloading systems for my ships. Don't care about that. Boomtowns is done. So now, new industrial methods. To increase the industrial capacity of our nation, new methods must be pioneered. New tools, factories, and training must all be researched if we truly want to be something in the wasteland. And this will give me again 2 50% research bonuses, 2 for construction, 2 for resource procurement, and with the 2-head time penalty debuff. So you can safely research ahead of time and not be worried about getting penalized for researching ahead of time. I can't remember what the actual how the calculation is done, but it is done quite nicely. What's this over? Oh, we've got a little land crossing over here. So let's pop. All you guys can come here.
Hello.
Just man that little land crossing for me if you don't mind. There we go. And then you know what? I think the rest of these guys can take. What's it? CITADEL, their capital, quite easily enough. How are they doing? I haven't even checked. 4,000, they haven't even lost 200. Oh, this is lovely. Although, for some reason, I have very little factories. What happened to all my factories? Oh, I know what happened to all my factories. It's because new citizen care package, definitely. No, wrong tab. There we are. Oh, it's because I went up in my garrison, so that means I lost a whole bunch of factories because I was going. So let me actually take it down to where it was. Get my factories back.
Hey.
There we go, 589, good to go. Yeah, there's all my extra factories back. You know what? Put them on aggressive. Basic aquifer done. Get basic power plant. Oh, right clicked on the wrong one there. Oh, we've got some rats, that's annoying. And some more research bonuses. Our own think tank. I have to take them for the next one. Another research slot. The enclave scientists that were transferred over to us from the mountains have started to construct something called a think tank. Now, most of these simple soldiers in the snow have no idea what a think tank ever was, but they promise it will be worth it. Extra research slot will be very nice in the beginning of the game. Now, I'm running out of things to research. And once I take the capital, this will be over and done with. Pretty sure it's actually their last victory point. Yep, all done. They're still using /A meeting. Oh, but they have robots. And there we go. Now this map looks a lot better. But I'm not training one. Okay, so I'm going to sort out my training. Figure out where I'm going to put my troops along my now very large border. Don't feel like going to war with anyone right now, but if someone picks a fight, I will definitely finish it. And I can call something. Vale, you're mine. Alrighty, so that's an extra research slot. Now, digging new wells will be next. Snow covers the landscape, but water is still needed for the new farms. New wells will be dug in order to support the new population of crops and the increasing population of settlers in the frontier. Okay, so Regina and Circle Creek will get an extra 7 water each. Very nice. This research slot I think I'm going to use to let's research some ships. More water, lovely. Now turning on the lights. A new power grid is needed in order to support the increasing demand of energy across our region. A federal power grid will be the only solution that will have enough juice to support all the demands for all the sectors of our nation. So extra 10 power, and that seems to be just for free, not attached to any specific area, which is actually quite nice. So turning on the lights marks the halfway point in this branch to the focus tree. I don't know why they didn't actually connect this, because the seat of power requires that you finish these 2 focuses first. But let's go. The seat of power. Gallagher has been ruling through the Department of the Interior, but the times are changing. In order to support the expanded size of our government, a new Congress will be created to replace the old department. So the Department of Interior will be replaced with Congress of the Northern Territories. Consumer goods minus 2.5, stability plus 5, factory output plus 2.5. Lovely. Gallagher gains, Secretary of the North. More political power gain, more division cover rate. Okay, stability goes down by 2.5, so that cuts that in half. Defense goes up, caps income goes up, and I get the event to appease the masses. Lovely. MacArthur still just sitting there. To appease the masses. The aid flows, the resources are sent south, and here comes the happy ending, Gallagher thought. The truth is far from golden future he envisioned. The masses stare at the enclave soldiers with disgust as they drink red deer liquor, eat gnawed bread, and pay nothing. Even after the removal of Johnson and Woods, there are still those who wish to have their voices heard. The clock ticks over Gallagher's head as he stares down from a directive from MacArthur to get control of our people. Looking around his office for ideas, his eyes caught by a pre-American flag. That's it, he thought. A fake Congress, a facade for the people. With approval from the top brass in the southern mountains, work was carried out. A northern Congress will be created. It will have no real power, but will look pretty in the town square. Who shall fill the seats? Well, enclave, of course. Gallagher and his American society will be allowed to join Congress, will also be allowed to join Congress, besides the ghouls. Price and the others weren't happy, but it was still just how it had to be. Schultz assured Gallagher he would have the final say in all northern governance. The truth of this is still to be seen. However, the people seem to be appeased. Strike two. Okay. Gallagher's not getting happy with how the enclave's treating his people, especially since it turns out he was ruled by them. Maybe he's actually regretting taking out Johnson and Woods. Okay, let's just go left to right here. These all seem to be fairly much the same with their negatives. First of all, National Defense Act. In order to ensure that our borders will always be protected, Congress has decided to enact a draft. Every citizen from the age of 18 to 45 must serve in some capacity in the nation's army. A nationwide draft which grants more mobilization speed, good. 12% recruitable population, that's great. More division attack. And defense goes up by 5%. But my factory output, training time, and caps income goes down. Okay. That's a bit sucky, but it noise always goes bad before the beginning. I am still sticking to my guns. I don't feel like attacking anybody. Although I do feel that once the Northern Brotherhood's finished with the Marlocks over here, they might be coming to take out this territory over here that I know they have claims on. So that's why I've got 3 battalions just in cases ready for them. Okay, so that's the first act done. Next act is the Resource Extraction Act. Congress has set out a new set of regulations for the mining sector of our economy. New government-run companies will be formed to turn these small local mining operations into something bigger and better. So we get colonial trade or companies. Construction speed goes up. Research speed goes up. Factory output goes up. Dockyard output goes up. Nice. Resources to market plus 50%. Civil intelligence goes down. Okay, so that must mean this is going to change my trade law. Oh well. Can't do that anymore. Okay, so it looks like my trade law is going to change at the end of this. Okay, Act 2 completed. Last act, the Industrial Development Act. New Congress has put out a new law which details the whole outline of the nation's economy. From resource extraction to industrial scale farming, all sectors of the economy will be reformed thanks to Congress. Okay, colonial economy, recruit population goes down, consumer goods goes up, conversion speed from military to civilian goes down, same with the other way around. Trade income goes down, base income goes down, military construction speed goes up. Let's have a look-see here. Yes, it did change my trade law, and I cannot replace it with anything else, even if I wanted to. Okay, good to know. Alright, that's the third act. Now, okay, once I've recentered this focus tree, there we are. Now let's see what paying our tab gives us, because normally this focus here cancels out the negatives from here, but we'll have to find out when we get this event. Johnson was skeptical of the enclave, seeing them as monsters ready to reap the riches of the north. Gallagher isn't a fool like Johnson, but maybe there was some truth to that ancient drunkard. Okay, let's see what the event, what this was all about, gives me. Now I have created my 6th battalion, and they're going to be guarding the border with Marshall, which is one of the only 2 territories that I released that hasn't tried to pick a fight with me. Let's answer the question what this was all about. The cold nights of Red Deer are nothing new to Gallagher, having spent his younger days on the streets. However, tonight's bitter, crisp air feels different to the wrinkled army captain. The skies are filled with the lights of transport vertebrates, the shops full with anything you can imagine, and the streets are finally repaved. The years of pain and bloodshed finally brought order. There is stability in Red Deer. No longer do people die in alleyways, Gallagher thought as he passed by 2 enclave soldiers with bloody knuckles. Gallagher, turning to inspect these soldiers, heard a sharp echo from the alley behind him. With his pistol drawn and caution at his side, Gallagher crept into the dark alleyway as the snowflakes covered his pistol slide. Laying on the ground behind a dumpster was a beaten and tattered ghoul. With haste holstering his pistol and cradling the ghoul, Gallagher saw his face. It was Price, jaw broken, black eye and all. It seems the soldiers from the tarmac came for some vengeance. The clock ticked away on the hospital wall as Gallagher watched over his friend in the hospital bed. The sneers from enclave doctors were noticeable, but Gallagher was, by force of law or lead, would ensure Price's recovery. The night dragged on as Gallagher thought of the situation he found himself in. His family is being hunted by the very same people who are helping him. It was the enclave that filled the shops, paved the roads, but it was also the enclave that almost killed Price. Shaking his head and dropping it into his palm, was this the cost of all Gallagher thought? He continued to ponder, knowing there must be a way to safeguard his family, make the North so valuable they follow in line behind Gallagher. A new plan was created in that hospital bed to send a message to the enclave, the wasteland. The Northern Territory shall become as important as Chicago, and then his family will be safe. An ambitious plan. Getting interesting. I like it. Fortress Protocol is done. I've already selected something else to research. Now, all good things. With the territorial secured and errant neighbors conquered, it's time to formalize a relationship between MacArthur and the Commonwealth. I like it. So, event, all good things, political power, minus 25. Okay. Let's find out what all good things is about. Gallagher took a long drag from the cigarette perched between his fingers. It left a sour taste in his mouth, an unpleasant peculiarity of pre-war cigarettes after they had been sufficiently irradiated. He held the cloud of smoke in his lungs for only a few short moments before blowing it back out across the screen of the terminal sitting before him. He hated that little glowing box. Using the thing was with equal parts frustrating and confusing. It often split out areas of nonsensical demands for things like reboots and software packages. Today it only offered bad news. Bad news was rare. The past few years had gone fairly well, all things considered. Ousting Jocelyn was easy, and rubbing out the rest of his supporters felt like more of an afterthought than a hurdle. Even wars with the raiders and the communists, who were previously seen as insurmountable enemies, had gone swimmingly. To top it all off, the Commonwealth had secured stable communication and cooperation with American remnants to the south. It seemed too good to be true. It was too good to be true. The text displayed on his terminal was the most recent communique from MacArthur. It was an insidiously simple message, and reading it made a stomach turn. The mutants must go, ghouls included. Okay, come crashing down. Next event. Let's hear. Gallagher twisted in his seat, the fake leather squealing in process, I think that is. His eyes shifted around the room as if looking for some kind of escape from this. Various trinkets, paintings, trophies, and collector firearms met his gaze dutifully, but offered him no respite. He'd heard rumors about how the Enclave treats mutants. Nothing concrete, and any attempts to ask after the issue with the MacArthur envoys had always seemed to quickly fall off topic. The most he'd ever gotten was a diplomat remarking that all true Americans will be looked after. That dissuaded him at the time, but Gallagher was realizing that he had never asked who guessed to check that box. They were asking him to do something deeply unreasonable. In practical terms, many of the ghouls were his general staff, some of them sitting on 200 years of tactical experience. That aside, the notion of a ghoul purge bristled against his sense of fairness. These men had given everything to the cause. Every ghoul he'd ever met in the army had an unwearying loyalty to the mission. Finally, and most troubling, They were family. Gallagher never met his parents. His earliest memories are of the ghoul officers who raised him, molding him into a soldier from the day he was born. Hell, some of the men who'd mentored him were still serving. What would he say to them? The issue was made no easier by what was at stake. America, the land of the free. Gallagher had dreamed his entire life of seeing it restored, of seeing the star-spangled banner fly high again, but he had put in years of blood, sweat, and tears to make it happen. This country was his life's work. It would be good for the world. It would be good for the wasteland. It would be good for the people. Could he really cast out all that into the fire for a few dozen ghouls, no less? He could wait no longer. His mind had been made, and he had sent his memory momentarily at the end of the day. Okay, America comes first, or family comes first. Now, this will decide which branch you take, either left or right. Now, for me, my personal choice is I can't do this to the ghouls. It's just the story is just too damn good. So, family comes first. There we go. So, let's see which one is that completed. Looks like we're going with the hidden cost. Let's go. Behind the rows and rows of enclave crates and the stock shelves, there was a hidden cost. They wanted us to send our family and friends to hell. Well, I say to them, they shall go instead, casting our lots. 7 days. I'm beginning to wish MacArthur wasn't my puppet, and I'm thinking I must pull my troops off this border here and guard them there. I'm going to do that. Okay, casting our lots. The terminal spit out Gallagher's response to MacArthur, and within minutes footsteps were heard from outside his crackling mahogany door. Ready and willing to go down with his family, the bitter old fool opened his drawer, pulling out his 10mm pistol. With the sights trained at the door, the gilded knob started to turn before gunshots rang out. Gallagher's grip tightened even more before words started to pierce the thin dry wall. "You still kicking there, kid?" barked Corporal Price. Relief washed over Gallagher as he reunited with his soldiers. With haste the city was turned into a fierce, confusing battle. Enclave may have numbers, but their gaps in communication allowed for their Order 33, not Order 66, but Order 33 to be front-page news for the ancient Yankees. The Enclave occupation forces were spread out in cells trying to fight to join each other. Gallagher used his better positioning to crack the ground forces, while Price used their new toys to knock out the vertibirds trying to flee. The day was long, but by dusk the Yankees had once again regained control of the city. As Enclave blood dried on their uniforms, the soldiers of the North grumbled amongst themselves on what the hell to do next. Gallagher claimed his old friends, pulling out pre-war flags of the Enclave tried to hide, claiming that these southern tyrants had been taught a lesson, that America is for those who fight for it, not some bunker-dwelling Poindexters. The ghouls yelled and rallied around their adopted son. Uncle Sam turned their back on him, but they never would. The eagle and stripes shall now raise and birth a new dawn. God bless Gallagher. And next we have Operation 1776. Johnson was wrong about many things, but his disgust for the Enclave and the willing to send them back to the mountains was not one of them. It seems a broken clock is right at least once a day. And we get the event Order Directive CITADEL. Order Directive CITADEL. Red Deer's fresh paved roads now lay in ruin once more. Yankee boots marched in lockstep over the cobblestones. The outskirts out of the Northern Territories were locked down with sentries and round-the-clock guards. Vertibirds still test our limits, and each time they take fire from our improvised anti-aircraft guns. Gallagher's orders were simple. Turn the North into a fortress, one ready and willing to hold fast when the time comes. Uncle Sam is coming. Everyone in the North knows the mountains don't want to lose their grips on the territories. The war room filled with thick smoke from the chain-smoking ghouls and maps of the southern front line. The once branded Enclave cigarettes have had their E crossed out, scribbled over. Gallagher sitting in his chair, going over plan after plan of how to break the mountain keep. Price, back to strength, was ready to strike back at the bastard works around the clock to keep the morale high in the room. The stability and order they all wished for was worth nothing in the end. Gallagher smirked at us as his eyes danced around the home. His family was safe. It just cost them everything they dreamed of. God bless the Federated States. Northwestern Mandate will now be known as the Federated Territory of America. Would you look at that flag? Lovely. Okay, MacArthur, don't try your luck with me. Now, let's go. Galvanize resolve or a border of lead. Okay, galvanize our resolve first. Our soldiers have been training around the clock to get ready for the upcoming trials. The Southern Front won't be an easy one. We must steady our aim and galvanize our resolve. Get the event, the Yackee Jackboot. Okay. Okay, let me look at the Yackee Jackboot, In the center of the airbase that was once the heart of our enclave presence now sits our training grounds. Fresh-faced cadets and battle-hardened ghouls trained for the upcoming war. The crack of a rifle fills the air with the smell of gunpowder as targets turn into Swiss cheese. Practice dummies are torn up from bayonet practice. Their scrap foam guts spool all over the ground. The mock trenches that crisscross the south embankment are filled with practicing soldiers. Price barks orders at these green troops, commanding them to stab correctly. Gallagher himself is spending his time preparing for what it will take when the practice turns real. Without vertibirds, logistics will be a nightmare, one that they can only try to remedy with Brahmin caravans. The soldiers will march in lockstep south with the caravans trying to keep up. However, the stress is worth it, as if not the city would be controlled by those covered bastards. Mass graves would be dug for the enclave traitors. They shall find the same fate that befell Johnson. All traitors belong in a shallow grave. Johnson was right about one thing. AK border of lead. The enclave are using every trick in the book to try to find a way into Red Deer. These vertibirds are being shot down without any question, but they are still trying to make their way in. Okay, let's find out about the southern frontier in another 7 days. The southern frontier. While the firefight in Red Deer opened the hostilities, has been little since. MacArthur has been quiet, outside of one thing: fake caravans. Trade caravans from the south, east, and west try to make their way into our borders. They dress themselves as any other traders would, but underneath they bleed enclave. It seems they are trying to sneak special forces behind our lines before our Cold War goes hot. Luckily enough, our border guard has been vigilant, and each trade is selectively allowed to enter. However, when they enter, they only find the barrel of the gun. If the enclave crisis averted, if they are regular trades, well, they have contributed to the war effort. Okay, cool. The sentries aren't want to be messed with. The slight shadow or rusting of the brushes are met with a stream of hell fury American lead. No one shall find their way behind our lines unless they have proven loyalty to the Yankees. God forbid we let a trader in with lies of cigarettes only find traitorous grins. Some have questioned Gallagher's cruel actions at the border. However, every time it's brought up, Price shows his scars and asks if they want to be next. They are getting what's coming to them. This ending is getting a lot better than what we had over here. 2 more left. Break their backs. Okay, the time has come. No longer shall we wait in the north for them to march against our lines. We shall take the offensive and send our troops south to ensure their backs will be broken into 1,000,000 pieces. Let the dominoes fall. Okay, so it sounds like we're going to war to recapture MacArthur from them. So I have set up 5 of my 6 battalions here on every border crossing. I've really preset them for aggressive. So this, if it happens, will be an absolute slaughter, I hope. Okay, let's find out where the dominoes are going to fall. For the last couple of days, Gallagher has held the dominoes from falling, allowing the war to break out. The troops stand ready at our board, trench shovels and rifles in hand for whatever they find. The caravans are stocked and ready to rush behind our advancing armies. The home industry is ramped up and producing at max capacity. The mines are being worked around the clock, with metal and electronics being ready for any use in the war. The only question remaining is, when will Gallagher give the order? The silence and red deer is palpable to Gallagher as he walks through the midnight streets once more. Yankee soldiers now walk in place of enclave soldiers. The shops half full, the streets cracked on the edges, but the lampposts now light the way. Walking past the alley that almost took Price now shows in a dark, empty alley. Standing in the mouth of the shadow, staring down into where he found Price, Gallagher thinks with his hand on his holster. His eyes were covered by the crates of enclave goods, but how could he have got how could he have it go as far as it did? No matter how Gallagher thinks as he continues his walk, tomorrow the war shall begin. The enclave shall be put in its place. The time has finally come. Okay, are we going to have war? Testing our resolve. Our trials have been many, from the communist hordes to Johnson's merry band of misfits. However, our troubles are far from over. Now we must fall in the footsteps of our forefathers. Gets event, a revolution of our own. Okay. A revolution of our own. It was that old drunk Jack Johnson and his fool Michael Woods that preached revolution. Well, the tables have turned. Brian Gallagher, the man of order, now ready to send out the troops, will spark the next American Revolution. The tyranny of MacArthur and Chicago shall not go without notice. Notice to Star Spangled Man. There was once a chance for peace when they united with us under the want for order, but they have shown their true colors. While we wish to use our powers to rebuild the waste, they wish to purge what remains. The ghouls know the American citizens. The survivors of the opening days of the Great War have been singled out by the false American government. The clock has run out of hours to tick through. There is no reason to hold the troops back and let them rule any longer. Let Price be the first over the border. He has some issues he needs to work through. Gallagher will follow his family into battle, wearing his old uniform and trashing the enclave press suit. Let the E burn and be forgotten, just as the Sons of Liberty were. God bless America. And I'm going to declare war on MacArthur. Okay, don't think I can because they're my puppet. If they weren't, this would be over. So, I believe if I'd taken this tree here, then I would have purged the ghouls and annexed MacArthur, but you guys can let me know if I'm wrong about that. And there we go. The Pioneer Company is now the Federated Territory of America, and if it was going, they would be the last American government standing in the wasteland. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. This has been a great playthrough. Thank you for the devs for writing such a great story. But I'll have to see you in the next one. Goodbye.